You overdraft by $4, not $400, not $40, $4. A coffee that charged while you were sleeping, you wake up to a notification. Account balance minus $4. Then another notification arrives 12 minutes later. Overdraft fee $35. You stare at the screen. The penalty for having nothing is that you now have less than nothing. You call the bank. The hold music plays for 22 minutes. A voice answers, reads from a script, tells you the fee cannot be reversed at this time. You ask for a manager. The voice says someone will call back within 48 hours. Nobody calls back. That same morning, your rent payment processes. It bounces. Your landlord charges a $75 late fee. Your phone bill tries to clear. It bounces. Another $25 fee. You started the day owing $4 for a coffee. You ended owing $139 in fees for owing $4. This is the first mechanism. The penalty for being broke is compounding debt. Not because you made a bad decision, because the system is structured to extract from the bottom. The bank profits from your overdraft. The landlord profits from your bounce. Every institution you interact with at the bottom has a fee designed for the moment you have nothing left, and every fee makes the nothing worse. You skip lunch that day, not by choice. You walk past the place you usually eat and keep walking like you were not going there anyway. Your coworker asks if you want to grab food. You say you already ate. You did not. You sit at your desk and feel something that is not hunger exactly. It is the specific exhaustion of managing a crisis that nobody around you can see. Because the second mechanism is invisible. Financial stress consumes bandwidth. Not just time, cognitive bandwidth. The mental space required to track $4 and $35 and $75 and $25 in 5 days until payday is space that cannot be used for anything else. Studies show that financial scarcity reduces effective cognitive capacity by the equivalent of losing 13 IQ points. 13 points. Not because poor people are less intelligent, because the mental load of managing nothing leaves less room for everything else. While you are calculating whether gas or groceries is possible today, someone else is thinking about their investment portfolio. While you are on hold with the bank for 22 minutes, someone else is in a meeting that will earn them more in an hour than you make in a week. The bandwidth gap compounds the wealth gap, and nobody puts that on a statement. You get to the grocery store that evening. You need food for the week. You have $23. You walk the aisles with a calculator running in your head. You buy the cheapest version of everything, the store brand, the reduced item, the thing with the dented can because dented is half price. You spend $22.40. You walk to your car with 4 bags. Enough food for 4 days if you are careful, not 7. 4. This is the third mechanism. Poverty is expensive. The cheapest food is the least nutritious. The cheapest apartment is the furthest from opportunity. The cheapest car breaks down the most. The cheapest option always costs more in the long run. But the long run requires capital you do not have right now. So you buy the dented can. And the person with capital buys the better version of everything once, and it lasts. Their cost per use is lower. Your cost per use is higher. And the gap between those two costs compounds quietly over every purchase of every category for every year of your life. Now go to the other side of the same city. Same day. Different number. Someone wakes up to a notification too. Dividend deposited $1,840 while they were sleeping. They do not call anyone about it. They do not need to manage it. It just arrives. Their money made money while they slept. This is the fourth mechanism. Capital compounds, not linearly, exponentially. $10,000 invested at 7% becomes $20,000 in 10 years without a single additional contribution. $100,000 becomes $200,000. $1 million becomes $2 million. The money does not care how hard you worked for it. It just compounds. And compounding is only available to people who have enough left over to invest after the rent and the groceries and the fees. At the bottom, every dollar is spoken for before it arrives. At the top, every dollar that is not needed generates more dollars that are also not needed. The same mathematical principle, compounding, that destroys the person at the bottom through fees, and debt builds the person at the top through investment and return. Same math, opposite direction. They walk into a bank that morning, not the same branch you called from, a different kind of branch. Quieter, no rope line, no hold music. Someone stands up when they walk in, offers coffee, guides them to an office with a door. The banker knows their name before they say it. This is the fifth mechanism. The price of money is different depending on how much of it you have. The person at the bottom pays 24% interest on a secured credit card. The person at the top pays 3.2% on a mortgage negotiated below market rate. The person at the bottom pays a $35 overdraft fee for a $4 deficit. The person at the top receives interest on a balance that never drops below six figures. The bank charges the bottom, the bank pays the top. Same institution, same building, different price of money entirely, and the difference between 24% and 3.2% compounding over 30 years is not a number, it is a generation. You get home that evening, you check your account. 43 cents, 5 days until payday. You have done this before. You will do this again. But something is different tonight. You open your laptop. You search for high-yield savings accounts. You find one paying 4.5%. You open it. You set a recurring transfer. $20 a month. Not $200, not $2,000, $20. The first mechanism the system uses against you is fees. The counter to fees is a buffer. The counter to a buffer is starting one. $20 does not start a buffer tonight. $20 starts the habit that builds the buffer, that stops the fees, that drain the account, that produces the overdraft, that costs the $35 that makes the nothing worse. The hidden math behind why the poor get poorer is not a conspiracy. It is a series of interconnected mechanisms, each designed to extract from the position of having less. And each mechanism has a counter. The counter requires starting somewhere. Somewhere is $20 a month. Somewhere is a high-yield account instead of a checking account. Somewhere is understanding that the math is not neutral. The math has a direction. And the direction can be changed, but only by someone who sees it first. You just saw it. The question is what you do with it tonight.